Hey everyone, I'm Amiena and welcome back to my channel Amiena Inspired. I'm going to take a deep breath quickly. You can take it with me because this week has been hell. In Cape Town, South Africa, we've had a barrage of attacks, violent attacks against women and children, and I mean babies. It's left, all of us women, we feel that pain. It pierces our soul and it drains us and it makes us angry and it makes us fearful. But I refuse to operate from a center of fear and hatred and anger, and I'll tell you why. The people that inflict pain on our children and on our mothers and on ourselves, they have lost their humanity. Because a hallmark of being a human being is having love in your heart and compassion for the next person. So I don't want to share the qualities of hatred and anger with these criminals. Okay, let them be inhumane. And this is the first thing I want to tell you. If you think for 1 second that I'm going to add fuel to the fire of hatred and anger to this particular conversation, you are very much mistaken. It has taken me a long time to learn that when you operate from a center of peace and love within yourself, you are better able to help others, and in this case rebuild South Africa and the whole African continent, to be honest with you. We've been traumatized by what's happening. But you see, the trauma didn't happen to us, it's mental, right? So we still have to live in our own brains. And for women, what we do a lot of the times is when we hear about something bad happening, we project images into our minds of how it will happen to us or to our loved ones. And then we start torturing ourselves. So I don't want that to happen to you. I understand that we need to accept that we need to go through the emotions. So let me explain of grief and anger. So Tuesday past, I was so broken that I became physically sick for the whole day. I had a runny tummy. I couldn't keep anything down. I was weak. And I was crying because I just couldn't understand. I was so confused. And I said to myself, Amiena, it is okay to feel these emotions. But don't stop there. Don't let that become your life. Because then I knew I'm going to become angry, miserable, unhappy. And then you know what these criminals do? They make us forget about the things we do have. And this is what happens when you're looking outside there and you're so worried, justifiably worried and scared and angry. We forget all of the things that we already have. We forget that we have a loving family, or that we are safe in this moment, or that whatever it is, we can always show gratitude for this moment right now. And this is what I want you to think about. This is going to be tough for a lot of you because it took me a long time to get this. So I don't expect you to get it overnight, and maybe you need to just let it ruminate, percolate a bit in your brain. The people that have done these criminal acts, they should go to jail, of course. What they did was horrific. But it's not unforgivable. And what I mean by that is, at least for me, because I'm Muslim, only Allah, God, can say what's unforgivable and what's forgivable. So for me, I don't pass judgment on what happened. The perpetrators, absolutely. The acts that they did are horrific. But I have to forgive them, and I'll tell you why. Because that toxicity is sitting in my heart. What they did is sitting in my heart, and it actually drains me of the love that I have. It makes me worried, it makes me angry. And so my children don't get the loving mother that they could. They get the fearful mother. They get the angry mother. And for the next, say for example, the next 20 years, you spend the rest of your life practically worried about your children, so you don't have a life. So those criminals, they have power over you because they are sitting in your heart, because you hate them so much. So when you hate somebody, they are right there, right next to you. So if you want to get your power back, the first thing you have to do is to forgive them. That does not mean that they shouldn't go to jail, and if the death penalty comes into effect, it does not mean that I'm saying they mustn't get the death penalty. What I'm saying is that I refuse to have them, that filth, have a place in my heart. Because that place in my heart is for my children, my family, and my loved ones. Okay? So the first step to healing ourselves is we have to forgive. Of course, we have to forgive. And I leave that up to the Creator. Okay? And that's up, I mean, if you don't agree with me, that's fine. That's completely up to you. I understand it took me a long time to get that, to have it sink in, okay? And I can't see your faces, so I can't see if you're disgusted with me because I said that, but that's really the only way I know how to release that, okay? So I forgive. Doesn't mean that I accept it, I forgive it, okay? So that I can have space in my heart for the next thing, which is complete and utter love. So when we start from a space of love, what that means is we can give of ourselves. We can bring joy to other people's lives. We can heal other people, and we can definitely heal ourselves. So you know, in practically every single video I tell people, say you love yourself. And I know there's people that will be watching this video, I don't want to say it. So if you don't want to say it to yourself, and if you have small children around, so I've got 2 small kids, one of almost school-going age, I have taught her to say these magical words. I love myself. And you must just try it out with kids. Tell them to say I love myself. And the thing about kids, they love it. Because even a person in love, you can actually see they're in love. Their hair is shiny, their face is glowing, they're light on their feet, they're smiling all the time. Why? Because every cell in your body is celebrating that you are in love. So it's beautiful for children to love themselves, and it's amazing for you to love yourself, okay? That's very, very important, because when you operate from that, you have peace in your heart, and you can offer compassion to the next human being. So you are showing what it means to be a human being, to have humanity. Okay, so forgiveness, very important. Love, loving yourself and teaching how to love yourself to your kids. And then also compassion, empathy. Do you know, this morning when I got to campus, I had to ask somebody for a hug, and I asked somebody who's not really technically a hugger, you know, some people aren't huggers. Because the tears were right behind my eyes, I could feel it there, and my throat was like, you know, and I just couldn't, and I needed that human contact. And that's like, if you see somebody, and it's obviously appropriate, it's a friend, or it's a classmate, somebody that you know, or somebody that you see is open to it, show them some love. Give them a hug or just a smile to show, hey, you're not alone. There's so many people in South Africa, in Cape Town, that don't have their families with them. Show your heart. Be kind. Have a kind word for the person that you're dealing with. That's a very, very small way that we show that we are human beings and that we are part of humanity. South Africa right now has a totally disgusting image. And yet there's so many beautiful and amazing people here. But we are scared. We are so scared. And we are also full of hate, because we don't want these things to happen. But this is the thing. If you want to be free, you got to forgive. If you want to rebuild and to heal, you need to love yourself. And if you want to rebuild the nation, you need to show compassion and empathy. So those are the 3 things that I would do. And that's what I do so that I can be here. You see, because I have forgiveness and love and compassion in my heart, it's very easy for me to say I'm going to have an impromptu workshop, really to connect with the students on campus who need that support. It's easy for me to say that because I'm not full of hate and anger and pointing outside and so must do that and so much. I always ask myself, what can I do? And I have to say, this week I was so drained that it took one of my team members to say, I think you need to be there for the students. And I knew it in my heart, but I was so drained. And then I thought to myself, wait, that's going to make me feel good. That's going to make a change. That's going to start the healing. So, I believe this with 100% truth in my heart. If you want to effect change, it will always start with you. And please get in contact with me. WhatsApp, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, this channel. We are growing our community of people that care about themselves and other people and want to live in a safe, beautiful world. And so with that, I'm sending you all my love, and I want you to know I'm not scared and I'm not fearful, and I am here. And I hope to be here for a long time, but if I'm not, I'm living in this moment, which is the only moment I have. And I'm telling you, I'm sending you all my love, always.